Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. This story is very harrowing. In Gaza, this father, and I can relate to this as I am a father of twins. Father, he went to go get birth certificates after his wife gave caesarean section birth to twins. And when he came back, a bomb had hit their house, wherever they were, and they were all killed. The mother, the twins, and his mother-in-law, the grandmother of the twins. And he comes clutching the birth certificates, distraught beyond measure. I mean, I can't imagine that pain. 9 months this woman carried these twins through a war. All the bombs, all the explosion, all the having to move around to different places, finding food and all that. She survived all that, and she gave birth in a place where there can't be that much hospital equipment and things, for a caesarean section, how dangerous that be. You could bleed to death and all that kind of stuff. She went through all that. She did it all during a war. And then the moment he went, if he'd been there, he would have been dead. This is the life that we choose for each other. This is our existence. This is our system. That's just, when will it ever end? When will we ever really learn? I don't think we will. Anyone listen to this story, and they're still talking about negotiations. When will humanity negotiate its future, a better future, without this system of money and greed and possession and all the things that cause all these things daily to all of us, to many of us?
Next, and Hamas say they won't take part in ceasefire talks with Israel scheduled for later this week. President Biden said overnight that achieving an end to the fighting was becoming more and more difficult. Let's get to Ali Bunkle, who's live for us, as always, in Jerusalem for us this morning. Alistair, how significant is it that they're not attending?
Well, we'll see how it plays out. It could be a negotiating tactic by Hamas to say that they're not attending in order to try and sort of strengthen their hand ahead of these talks that are due to take place in 24 hours from now. What I would say is that they are never in the same room as the Israeli negotiators. It's shuttle diplomacy between different hotel rooms, the mediators being the Egyptians, the Americans and the Qataris. And so, although they won't be in the same room, and they're threatening not even to be in the same hotel, because the talks are taking place in Doha, they will be in the same city, because that is where Hamas's political leadership is based. So they won't be far away, even if they're not actually at the venue itself. But as I say, this could be a genuine threat not to take part. It could be a case of some sort of strategic politics ahead of those talks. The focus over the last 2 weeks has been on Iran and Hezbollah and the potential for them attacking Israel. But the fighting is still going on in Gaza in a very heavy way. We are approaching 40,000 Palestinians killed in the last 10.5 months. The IDF have launched yet another operation in Gaza's second largest city, Khan Yunis, and the fighting is still very heavy. I should warn you that my report contains distressing images right from the very start. Mohammed became a father 4 days ago. He went to hospital in central Gaza to pick up the birth certificates of his newborn twins. Instead, he ended up in the morgue to identify the bodies of his wife and 2 babies. They were killed by an Israeli airstrike whilst he was out.
People from the neighborhood called me and told me that my house I live in was bombed. My wife, my 2 children, and my mother-in-law were gone. My wife gave birth the day before yesterday. I didn't even have the time to celebrate them. She gave birth by cesarean section, and she was still tired and couldn't walk.
The airstrike hit their top floor apartment. We asked the IDF for a statement, but haven't received one. Inside, the house is still smouldering from the explosion. They use bottles of water to try and put out the fires still burning. Any sign family life has already been extinguished. Reem will never know her parents. They were killed in another airstrike, leaving the 5-month-old an orphan. Her body is pockmarked with wounds from shrapnel. She is the only survivor from her family.
She is refused any kind of feeding. This is one of the very sad and catastrophic story we have ever seen in this war. A lot of these sad stories nowadays.
For now, Reem is in the arms of her aunt, but the doctors are desperately trying to find a surrogate mother to breastfeed her before she gets any weaker. Hamas might be severely diminished, but they're not defeated, even after 10.5 months of brutal war. Israel believes that the best chance of a favorable ceasefire deal is to keep the military pressure on Gaza. It might be working, but it's coming at a huge cost to generations of Palestinian families. Well, as I said, the tactic and the opinion of the Israeli war cabinet is that pressure on Hamas is the best way to get a deal. But the Israelis are coming under huge pressure themselves from particularly their Western allies, the US, the UK, France, Germany, to now sign a ceasefire deal. It has been reported in the last couple of weeks that Benjamin Netanyahu's senior security officials as well have told him that now is the time to take a deal, that it is the moment to have a ceasefire, and that the Israeli military could handle the situation and ensure that Hamas were not to regroup. We're hearing from both Hamas and from the Israelis that they both want a ceasefire deal. So if you take their word for it, the will seems to be there. But these things are far, far more complicated. We have seen so many rounds of ceasefire talks start and then fail that I don't think, well, I think people are certainly not getting ahead of themselves with what is due to take place tomorrow. But I mean, just one sign of the pressure that is being put on tomorrow's talks. Amos Hochstein, the US envoy for Lebanon, he's in Lebanon at the moment trying to talk to players there. Brett McGurk, their Middle Eastern senior official, is in Cairo and is going to Doha. And Anthony Blinken was supposed to be here, but rather ominously, he has postponed his trip.
Very interesting. Alistair, as always, thanks so much. And we're going to be talking more about the Middle East a little bit later on as well with the former Foreign Secretary.
I don't know. We never learn. We as human beings, we never learn. And this is just one event, and there's a multitude of them of different various shades of the suffering that human beings are going on in the system that we think is the best one, and it certainly isn't. Until we get rid of money, until we get rid of this idea of borders between human beings, and we don't see that intrinsic truth that we're all human beings, these things are going to keep happening until we